Welcome to season 2, episode 3 of the Neutral 13. Episode 13. What a great way to start. Season 2, episode 13 of the Neutral Zone. This is official. The official Neutral Zone, brought to you by Stomps and Nav this evening after a little bit of a hiatus. I know that we haven't been able to do a lot of shows because of Stomps' schedule, but we're finally back, and we're back with a real treat. And you can see these guys on the screen. Have some patience. We're going to introduce you to every single one of these referees today on the official Neutral Zone episode. But before we get started, we want to take care of a couple of housekeeping items here. So I had the pleasure most recently to attend the Sebastian Maniscalco show in Chicago. Now tell me, any of you guys on the line, have you been to the show?
Negative.
I have not. I was supposed to do some artwork for him though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah?
I know Abby. I know him personally. A good friend of mine went to school with him and is friends with him. So we went out after his shows. Many of them at Zany's. Since he's become big time, I haven't seen his show, but I know Sebastian personally.
How is he as a person?
You know, so I was telling the story earlier because a coworker had told me that she went to go see him with her husband on Sunday. So we've been out with him, and he's really quiet out at the bar. He's not the guy that wants to tell jokes and be the center of attention. My buddy Steve, I used to bartend with this guy at the living room in Schaumburg. Yeah, we probably went out with him 2 or 3 times after the show, and he's really quiet. He just wants to kind of do his own thing.
Wow.
It's hard to be on 24/7 like I am. That's very difficult.
But he's on during his shows. I mean, he is so funny.
Yeah, you know what was really cool, Ron? He actually brought his parents on the stage at the end.
I heard. I didn't know they were divorced, right? I'm got to call my buddy Steve. I guess they're divorced, but I thought they were always married. But he was really thankful. I guess if you were there last night or Sunday night, Nav, I guess he was really thankful that his parents never looked down their nose at him and were always supportive. In 1997, I guess he said, "I'm going to go out to LA." And they didn't say, "No, you can't." You know, they were real supportive of him, which is great.
Yeah, he talked about that when he left in 97, and he actually got quite emotional. That was pretty cool how his parents supported him. But Arlington Heights guy, right?
Arlington Heights guy. He went to Northern, right? I mean, yeah. One of these days at the rink, I'll tell you what he does with Madison Square Garden, United Center. Well, I'll tell you right now, he calls up and he rents out the place. And that, I don't know what arrangement he makes from the proceeds, but yeah, he rents out the place and then sells tickets. That's how big time he is.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
that's cool.
Just his humor is incredible. The facial expressions and the way he talks about his Italian upbringing, and it's so. Did you meet him through was it an Italian connection? Because there's
my buddy I used to bartend with is Greek. His last name is Cyanus, so he's not even Italian.
Wow.
So my buddy's Greek. So he's just a really cool guy. I mean, we all make a living a certain way, and he's made a living this way, and he's persevered with it because you know what? For every one of him that has made it, there's 1,000 of people that haven't made it.
Right. Well, think about it. It's a lot harder than acting, right? Because there's not too many comedians out there, but there's a lot of actors, right? So, well, regardless, listen, it was a great show. Funny guy. Hope we can provide the same level of entertainment this evening. So, guys, let's be on our game. I'm gonna pass it on to Stomps as we will tag team on this one. We have a couple of players that are out on COVID protocol, as well as others that are dealing with some nagging injuries on the long-term IR. Stomps, you want to talk a little bit about this?
Look at Stomps with the picture of me. I love it, Stomps.
I think our hockey community is kind of following the pro sports leagues right now with all of a sudden there's all these cases happening. Should we go into specifics, Nav? Are we breaking any HIPAA laws here?
No, I think we're okay. I think these guys are, if it's out there, it's okay to talk about it. You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's talk. Let's start with the guy on the top left, Joe Gleason, Senior. He's been out for a while. He's dealing with some cardiovascular issues. The latest we heard is that he may have to get some work done, but nothing that he believes is going to be career limiting. And we hope to see him back soon. Seen him a lot less at the rink. I've been getting a lot of intel from Patty in terms of how he's doing. But he ran into a little bit of a hiccup, I think, earlier in the fall with his health. And we wish him well. We want to see him back, hopefully by the tournament. So best wishes out to you, Joe.
And our buddy Brian Ganutek found out, I guess, today that he's COVID positive. He thought he had walking pneumonia. That was his self-diagnosis. So he said he learned his lesson. But apparently he's been knocked for a loop here, and he thinks he's going to be out for a while. So
Was he at the rink yesterday, or was that last week?
What was that?
Was he at the rink yesterday, or was that last week?
Last week.
Okay.
He wasn't at the rink yesterday.
No, but I'm glad you mentioned that, Giggs, because the game that we played minus Ganutek, his absence was clearly noted. Our team, and I guess Stevie J, you would agree, when you have Ganutek there, you definitely have lots of accountability, and we didn't have that last night.
Yeah, he's the dad of the group.
Yeah.
I think that victory by our team had to be coaching, Nav.
Oh,
Had nothing to do with the players. That was all coaching last night.
I forgot that you were playing against us yesterday.
I was coaching. I stand there and get in the way. That's all I do.
I heard you.
I'm a cheerleader to all these guys. That's it. I'm a cheerleader. That's it.
I don't think I've had a grown man tell me he loves me as much as Ron Coletta has ever done. He loves me.
That comes from the heart, Joey. That comes from the heart, buddy.
That's very sweet. In terms of the guy on the right, needs no introduction, but Steve Fiorito is someone that we certainly send our best wishes to. He's also fighting the virus right now. We wish you the best, Steve. I know you're going through a rough patch right now, but just want you to know that the hockey community is thinking about you, pulling for you, and we know you're going to be fine. It's a bit of a battle. We understand that. All of us, I guess you all can echo this. We're here for you, Steve. If you need anything, reach out, let us know. We're thinking about you, man. Bottom left.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guys, the team Chicago went to Philly over the weekend, and I guess they were pretty decimated and it was COVID related. Both Worgans were down. The word I got was that Scott Morgan can't even get out of bed, supposedly. And again, you hear these things secondhand, but like I said, I mean, it's like a wave has come through. When you think about it, this all started, March of 2020. Then you remember everything was locked down, and then we came out of that, June of 2020. So, a lot of us, some people didn't play, but a lot of us immediately started playing outdoors at Woodridge, and then, Palatine slowly came back. And I think as a community, we've done pretty well through this thing for almost 2 years. And now it just, all of a sudden,
Yeah,
just goes to show,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a wave that's getting hit in Chicago. But we wish you the best, Jeremy and Scott. Dante is dealing with an injury himself with the I think it's a knee patella,
Displaced patella.
displaced patella. So Dante, we haven't seen you at the rink. We miss you, buddy. Hopefully we'll get to see you back at the rink soon. Heal up. I'm gonna pass it on to our pilot over here.
Mhm.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. I just know I heard that, Josh was down with COVID too. So,
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
so
Another man down. We wish you the best, Josh. Hopefully we get you back at the rink and then also at Woodridge
go.
where you haven't been around that often. And certainly last but not least, our special guest today is dealing with his own injury himself. What's the exact injury? I believe it's Achilles tendon. Is that right, Ron?
Yeah, I had a ruptured Achilles. So the surgery was done on August 26th. I will hopefully be back September, maybe October. My orthopedic guys told me it's a full year plus, right? He told me professional athletes. He was a trainer for the Giants, the New York Giants. He said they were out a full 12. He goes, I know what you think you do is important. He goes, but it is recreational. So he goes, you might want to think about 12 to 18. So we'll see. I'm a ways away, but I've told this to my teammates, and I'll share it here, guys. It's hard to come and watch. I really want to play, but the alternative is not even to come. So I like coming, being with the guys, right? Joking with other, you guys last night, Nav, for example, I was joking with you. So it's hard not to play, but at least I get out on Monday nights.
Yeah, it was good to see you last night. I think it sparked your bench as well. I don't know what you were telling them, but they weren't taking their foot off the gas pedal.
I think number 5 sparked our bench yesterday, and I don't have to do much when he's on like he was last night.
5
That's
and
really
57,
awesome.
5 and 57 for you guys last night, the whole time.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
we
fun
wish-
when you get the passing like that, going
Yeah.
back and forth between Brandon Jr. and Jordan as well. So
Mhm.
it was
That was good.
we wish all these great hockey players restored health. So Stomps, what's happening with the tournament?
You're asking me? I'm not. I don't know. I mean, I know there's some good teams supposedly coming from out of town.
Mhm.
Boston, Pittsburgh, maybe other areas.
You know if any Canada teams are coming?
That's a good question.
I think Frank, last I spoke to Frank, I thought there were. But that was on our show. That was on our last episode. It might be a little harder right now because I heard they're going to be going into some lockdown in Canada. So
Oh man.
I think that might be hard if there is a Canadian team, that might be hard for them to travel. But anyways, it's the weekend of the 14th, 15th, and 16th. I'm not too sure where they are at with teams, but I think they're full and they have some waiting lists or wait lists going on.
What I hear.
Who on this call is playing in that tournament?
I'm playing with Venom, I know.
Okay. Sabo?
I think I am. I just don't know what team.
Brill?
I'm with the Toros. So I mean, maybe do a little roughing and playing.
Brill, you playing?
Not that I know of. I haven't been asked to be on a team, so
Okay, you reffing?
I'd love to. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll happen for sure.
How about you, Gigs? You reffing?
I will be out of town that weekend for a Kugel's Pond hockey tournament.
Wow.
What town are you gracing with your presence?
It would be Wausau, Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
2019 men's 30 and over gold champions. So
Cool.
returning, or what? Yeah, 2019.
And I got to ask you what position you play.
I'm a defenseman.
Oh, That's why you can skate so nicely backwards.
Years of experience.
Stomps, what's the latest, Stomps, with Woodridge?
Well, we've been playing because it's been decent enough on Sunday mornings, but it's supposed to be rather cold this weekend, so I'd say it's a question mark. They haven't put up but the official games are down already. It's shut down. These are now what are known as just pickup games, I guess, if you will, even though it's technically kind of a pickup league. So the stats don't count like they do during the normal season. So we'll see. I mean, we've been lucky, there hasn't been any snow, obviously. So, but that rink has its issues when there's rain and, there's frost on the floor in the early morning, that kind of thing. Sun's at a lower angle. It's a little tougher, but we'll see what happens.
Well, question, Sabatini, as the official Team Chicago photographer, did you take this picture?
I don't remember. I take so many. I don't think I took this one.
That might be how the rink looks on the coming Sundays. All right. So let's get started with the referee official edition of the Neutral Zone. So for those of you watching at home, you're tuned in to season 2, episode 13 of the Neutral Zone. I ask you to kindly subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Please share the link to all of our videos with your friends and family and all your loved ones. We are today excited to welcome some really special guests here. But before we do that, let's highlight those that are conspicuous by their absence. So in the top right, we have Lou Mangini. Stomps, what's the latest on Lou?
He's so absent, we don't even have a picture of him to put up there.
Right.
I mean, Lou's been hurt himself. He's had like a little Achilles inflammation or whatever you want to call it.
That's exactly what he's had. Stomps, I talked to him last night. Last night. He said he's taking some anti-inflammatory to help it, I guess.
He was playing last night.
played.
So
I told him not to get to the point where I'm at or where I was at, because then you're off for a year.
and that's what I said, but that's his call, right? So if he feels like he could do it.
We're all grown-ups. We're all big boys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in fairness to the second guy conspicuous by his absence, I don't think Dante had enough lead time in terms of, being on the show, right, as a ref.
Plus, he's still recovering from his trip to Italy.
Right. I heard he had a really good time and he wants to live there forever. Well, two guys that hopefully at some point will bring him on the show. I know Dante's already been on the show. Lou's never been on the show, but he's a longtime listener, longtime caller. All right. So let's start off with Stevie J, because I will tell you, first of all, that's a very handsome picture. How many years ago was that picture taken, Stevie?
Was what, about a year and a half ago?
Wow. You look like a young 26-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Stevie doesn't age, Nav. I've known him for quite a while. He still looks the same like he did 15 years ago.
wow, and he still runs as fast. I'll tell you, I try to come up with some descriptors for each of you based on what I know, and Stomps, feel free to add into these, but Stevie scored a big goal last night, with 0.6 seconds left in the game. I think he blasted it. That was a huge goal. It could have been the turning point if it was just 2 periods earlier. But it was a great shot. Stevie, you're one of the fastest guys I know. For a Masters player, unbelievable speed, some hidden talents. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do for a living?
Well, I'm a computer system engineer. That's what I do for a living. And I also do, I don't know if you guys already know, I like to dance. That's one of the things. Jim Brillo and I when back in the day we were clubbing. What is it? Where we go? It was Medusa's and
Medusa's, a couple other spots.
yeah. So anytime like some good music just got thrown on, started busting out some dance moves, and you know we always did those dance battles against other people, and man, those are good times back then. But yeah, I mean, it was trying to do that in your 40s now, and you're looking back at it, and you're just like, you can't decide, man. You can't decide if you're gonna continue doing it later in 10 years from now, where I'm at. I'm gonna be at 9 more years. I'll be 50 years old. So who knows what's gonna happen.
Well, it's interesting you say about dance and all that, and that's one of the unknown hidden talents. But do you know Steve Aaron Jordan?
No, I do not.
So Steve Aaron Jordan, you should know this. He's the #1 record producer in the world. Did music for Jay-Z and some other hip hop artists. He's also known as Stevie J.
Oh, well, he's got the name then above me.
Well, I still think you're the most popular Stevie J. But anyways, I've seen a lot of development and improvement in your game over the last few years, and kudos to you for putting the time into your craft.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Stomp, do you want to say anything about Stevie?
Stevie's weightlifting, right? I mean, is
Yeah.
that part of your a tribute to your newfound slap shot?
Yeah, been hitting the gym and the weights pretty hard lately, so trying to get back up to that point where I'm kind of, no one's gonna mess with you, kind of just.
And now you have the lime green shoes to match the lime green helmet.
Yeah.
I was actually blinded while I was out there. I couldn't see. But why did you take a spill in the corner last night? You went down like a
Twice. You went down twice.
There was I don't know, there was some condensation on the floor, but those, honestly, I don't think I'm gonna wear those shoes again because they actually didn't really grip well, even though they had grips on them. Those are brand new shoes. I don't know.
Did you keep the receipt?
Oh yeah, I got the receipt.
Condensation is like bone dry in that place.
Stevie, it looked like you had 2 left feet both times you fell. So I don't know that there was condensation, brother, because nobody else saw that condensation.
In the corner,
I was 75 feet on the other side of the rink, and I felt those tiles move.
Oh, wow. Let's move on from Stevie J to our good friend Jimmy Brill.
Speaking of lime green, oh my goodness.
Speaking of green, this is what Stomps would say, a tremendous sweater. What do you think, Stomps?
I don't know if they would win an ugly sweater contest, potentially, maybe. Personable nature.
I
Come
love
up with this stuff.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite guy, maybe my favorite guy at the rink is Jim Brill. Sorry to present company here. He is such a great ref. He's the only ref that when you do something good, which rarely happens with me, he actually acknowledges it during the game. He's like, hey, that was a good play. Great guy. Come on. Stumps, you gotta say some great.
Well, let's wind the clock back to last night again. Here, and you were involved in this play, Nav. You were moving the ball up the right wing, and Jim called an offside that some people were yakking about. What did I say, Jim?
You told him to shut up. It was the right call.
Yeah, because you never gained the zone, Nav. The ball was on the line the entire time, and
Yeah.
our guys went offside. So
But I never argued with Jim.
No, it was a couple guys on the bench that were sitting next to Stomps that were trying to chirp at me.
Yeah, but I didn't do that.
No.
Every one of you guys is gonna say I'm the best guy to ref. Anyways, but let's. I believe he's totally fair and balanced as a ref and as a human being. Jim, we're honored that you took time to come on the show tonight.
Absolutely. It's great to be here. I'm stoked to be here. I'm honored to be on the show.
Yeah. And it's great that you've been added to the collection of talented and insightful referees. Let's go to the next one here. This is.
Where are you
Has to
getting these pictures from?
Can you tell us Sabo, who's this guy you're meeting with here?
That's a random guy that was I think I was in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Looks
because
like
look at the
Facebook.
Canada building right behind. Why do you think I picked it? Look right there. The Canada building. And the Canadian, half of the Canadian flag cropped out there. When did you go to Vancouver?
Trying to think, as part of a Alaskan cruise I did with my family, maybe about like 6-7 years ago, something like that. It's been a while.
Trash talker.
Well, you know why I call you Bo Jackson, right?
Probably because I play more sports than Bo Jackson plays.
You do. You actually do more stuff than Bo Jackson, but he's the only one that I can think of that was a multiple sport athlete as good as you.
Deion Sanders, you know.
Yeah.
Michael
I'll
Jordan?
believe it when he breaks one of his sticks over his knee. Although he almost broke the stick. Where was that, Sabo? Was that at oh, that was in the scrimmage at Palatine.
Oh, yeah,
Hit
yeah.
in the like collarbone or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard Sabo swear or get
Oh,
mad.
I
really.
have.
I've seen him get mad.
Go ahead, trust me.
Hey, Giggs, one time I cross-checked him in Woodridge. You remember that, Sabo?
Yeah.
Oh, you were pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. He cross-checked me right in the back.
Hey, Giggs, tell me this. Giggs, do you think Sabatini is a good face-off guy?
I mean, if I played, I would just chop at his legs the whole time. So I mean, like typically when I take face-offs, it's chop stick and then go. But like Sabatini would just be chop leg, and then I'd probably win the face-off even cleaner than I would against him anyways. So it's all good.
Yeah. What last night I asked Sabatini, who I still believe is one of the most vocal trash talkers in our league. And I asked him if he would be willing to shovel my driveway this winter. And he threatened to throw me out of the game.
Yeah, you're asking while he's reffing.
That's awesome.
Giggs, you think that's an offensible thing to ask the referee if he's willing to shovel your driveway?
I mean, I'm pretty soft when it comes to things. So yeah.
What do you think, Brill? What if someone asked you to do that?
I mean, I'd probably just ignore him half the time when I'm reffing. I'm not paying attention to shit, but
You can shovel my driveway.
I got the perfect answer, boys. You have to pay me more money, right? So,
Right. Well, we're going to get into the
money,
money.
baby.
Ronnie, we're going to get into the money shortly. I promise you, it's part of the questions here. Anyways, Giggs, we couldn't get a picture of you.
Oh, thank God you didn't Google me.
I tried, but I didn't know your official name. And I hope I spelled your name right. But listen, I look at you as the one-man show. I mean, I think you can do it all. I mean, you can. We don't need two refs when Giggs is reffing. We don't need Giggs plays roller hockey. I'm sure Stomps gave me some good intel about your roller hockey skills, which is pretty phenomenal. I do want to say I'm a little biased on the third point. I call you temperamental because I do believe that one game where you ejected me, if it was another night, you would have let me get away with it.
I got a story about that, so it's all good.
All right. I knew we wouldn't get away with this episode without talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, well, go ahead, Nas.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I'm Joe Gagelli. Nice to, for those who don't know my real name, Joe Gagelli. Yeah, you know, when you guys started back up, I got asked to go out and ref and essentially help, you know, Stevie J, Brill, Stomps, Lou, everybody out there just to help get the reffing along because I can't make every day. So I'm kind of like the referee savant for deck hockey because I've been doing it since you guys came over to the rink. And I think about me and I asked Ron last night, he said 2007, 2008.
2008. I think we came over in 8.
So, and the fun part about that was I actually played in that first league. So, I was on the house team. We were very bad, but I ended up playing goalie instead of Jay Winder and got our first team win. And I believe I shut out the team we were playing. Roller hockey and ice hockey my whole life. And the temperamental, I don't disagree. I can have my days. But it was funny because the day I threw you out, Nav, the weekend before I went off on a ref. And I do my best not to do that because, as Ron knows, we're referees and we don't yell at other refs. Right, Ron?
We just explain ourselves. They
Oh,
think it sounds. We're just explaining ourselves, Joey. That's how. Come on, Giggs, you know that.
Yeah. So I had a little thing with the ref, and he just kept telling me he was going to throw me out, and he didn't do it. And I just kept yelling at him because, again, just kick me out of the game if I'm a problem. But he didn't. So the next day, I was apologizing to the general manager, Nick, at the rink. And I'm like, yeah, man, people should just start throwing people out when they start yelling at refs. And I believe it was the first game of the night. Nav just said something, kind of like little F-bomb here, not directly at me, but I just was like, you know what, you're out of here. And I just GFO'd him, skated over. And I had a smirk on when I looked at the general manager, and I just was like, see, people just have to kick people out that are going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I said, I've been doing this so long with you guys, and I've seen it all I've had a guy, I'm not going to say names or anything like that because I don't know if he listens to the pod, and I saw him there last night for the first time. He was on your guys' team. No, he wasn't. No, he played the first game, but he definitely stayed at the rink on like a Wednesday back in the day from call it 9 p.m. till 11:40 and just waited for me to go outside, and a bunch of the roller hockey guys had to sit around and make sure nothing happened with me.
Wow.
But yeah, temperamental. I get it.
That's all good though. It's good. It's good to have emotion.
Yeah.
We're glad you joined the show. This is a big treat. Okay, here we go. I think this guy needs no introduction, but Stomps, why don't you say a few words?
They took that picture at the Woodridge tournament. Love that picture. That's all you, Stevie J. You took that picture.
Yeah, look hot in that thing.
I go back a long ways with Ronnie. Back in the day, in the 80s, his dad, the real Ronnie Sr., used to ref many of our games throughout the various leagues. It's interesting. I mean, Ron, why, I'm interested to know why, since you've been doing this over 30 years, I mean, obviously when you were kind of in your prime playing, you decided to start reffing. What was your thought process around that?
Well, you see your dad reffing, and a lot of the stuff too was, he'd have me come over and ref at Oriole Park, right? You remember the Oriole Park Day Stomp, right? So I got to spend a Sunday morning with my dad, and he got me into the ice hockey thing as far as reffing there. So, and for the same reason, my son refs because he watched me ref. So, and it's time spent. It was, time spent with my dad. So it's good, right? And you start doing it, and Joe knows this. Joe, there's been many times you say, F this, I don't want to do this anymore. And then you're like, you know what? We're so used to it. And you're around the guys, and it's extra cash. And it's like, and it's second nature to do it. So once you get past all the folks yelling at you, it's all good. You're still around the guys, right? I mean, you're still, I mean, Joe and I have done youth hockey. That's a little different, right? When you got coaches and parents, right? But when you're doing senior men, they want to be disrespectful. You just tell them to go home. And then the next time I see you in the next game, I'm not going to hold any grudges, right? It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, Stomps, it's just, you're around the guys. I wouldn't do it for free. So you get an extra couple shackles too. And it's hockey. So, Joe, I mean, anything you want to add to that? I mean,
you have brothers though that ref too, right?
Oh, Joe Coletta refs too.
Yeah, my older brother, I think all of them have refed at some point. I have 4 brothers, and I think they've all refed.
The Coletta family is truly referee royalty in the Chicago area. Absolutely.
They're
I-
like,
I-
Go
Second
ahead.
state. Oh, Nav, I'm late for everything. I'm gonna be late for my own funeral.
Well, you were on time for the podcast. We had a little bit of a worry about that. And
No, I intentionally dialed in 5 minutes early just because if not, my big problem in life is I'm always trying to do three more things. And because I think I got 7 minutes to do it, so I could do three more things. And then what happens is I'm 9 minutes into it. Now I'm 2 minutes late, right? So, or, I don't factor in travel time or traffic or weather, and then I'm screwed too. So
I have a story about Ron Coletta as a ref. We were out in September 2015. Ron and I and a couple of other guys were at that Masters tournament in Philadelphia. And Ron took a ball hockey, an orange ball to the head. Do you remember that, Ron? And
yeah, it was in a mess. We were practice on Friday.
it was Friday night.
I think Frank shot it too, or somebody, and I took it in the back of the head. I'm like, really?
And you couldn't play, but what did you do for the rest of the weekend?
No, I wanted to play. I mean, it was a little sore, but remember I played, and so remember every team had to provide a ref.
Yeah.
So I was our ref. Nobody else did it. I did. I was our volunteer for all like 3 or 4 games.
Right.
And then
I saw you reffing a lot that weekend.
You guys were heckling me. It was cool. I mean, I enjoyed you guys were taking pictures. I still have a picture from back 6 years ago. So it was, again, somebody had to do it. And I just kind of the thing, I mean, I'll probably never get on the payroll at Hat-Trick, right? I kind of like giving back time, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, it's again, somebody had to do it, so it might as well have been me.
Well, it was great. I like this picture, especially except for the hat, but that's okay because I think
I know.
found it in the Woodridge trash can. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, my esteemed co-host, Stomps. And I'm going to ask the rest of the refs to say a few words as well, because everybody knows Stomps all too well. I think, guys, that he's the most gentlemanly player in ball hockey. Barely taking, I don't remember him ever taking, has Stomps ever taken a penalty, Sabatini?
I don't remember him. I don't remember the last time he took one. I'm assuming he took one at one point, but I don't remember the last time he took one.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I probably called him on a penalty. I was the wrong person.
Exactly.
Stomps is the true lady big. Yesterday I was trying to talk to him while he was reffing, and he wasn't responding. Like, I mean, when he's reffing, he's so in the zone.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
That's
have reffed-
serious, Nav. He takes that stuff serious. He Stomps doesn't play around when he's reffing.
He's very professional. I mean,
Yeah.
he focuses on, especially when officiating, he gets down to business, and he just focuses on the job at hand.
Stevie J, does that make me unprofessional? Because the times I did ref out there, I'd be talking every bench.
Yeah, we actually have a picture of you back. Was it the ice rink when you're just kind of like just chilling by the bench?
Hey, just so you guys know, when I do ice games, the other referee wants me on the other side so that I don't talk to the benches. They literally rush to do the face off on benches so that I'm not allowed to do the side of the benches.
Yeah.
Joe, is that not me? Is that not me? I'm hands and kissing
There was
baby.
if there was a shrine around Coletta reffing, it would just be the boards and then him one armed up. Like, so did you guys have a good dinner yesterday? Like, just shooting.
Well, I'll tell you, if there's one thing Stomps doesn't like, is he doesn't like the attention on him. I certainly know that, working with him over the past 2 years on this show. But he always finds a way to pick out the bright side on things. When things are going bad, he always talks about the positive. And Stomps, we're lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have you as a co-host, and you're an exceptional ref. Now what we're going to do
Nicest guy I know, Navi. He's the nicest guy I know. And Stomps, we've been playing together for a long time, man. You are the nicest guy I know.
Wow.
Agreed.
I have to work on that.
All right. Well, listen, we're gonna switch gears here, and we're gonna go into a few questions for the refs. So this is the part that I know all of you have been waiting for. Stomps has a few questions. I have a few questions. Stomps, you want to go first, my friend?
Sure. So I'm going to throw something out there. I'm going to tell you what I think, and then I'd love to get everybody else's thoughts. So, Giggs, you gathered us around. I think it was the start of this most recent session, and it was like, hey, no tolerance for mouthing off of the refs. Give them the game. Get them out of the game.
Yeah.
We heard a lot of the same, Stevie, Sabo, and Jim. We heard this at NBHL, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Frank gathered us around. Oh, the cameras were picking up too much of the, guys yelling at the refs. And the way I look at it, and I want to get your guys' thoughts. I treat the mouthing off like I treat the play on the floor. I let a lot go as long as it doesn't cross a line. Now what's that line for everybody? I don't know. I could only say that in the games I've been reffing, and I've reffed quite a few now at this point, I haven't had a single person that's really gotten out of line with me that I feel crossed any lines. It's hockey, right? It's an emotional game. People are gonna yell when there's a call or a non-call. So what do you guys think? Do you think throwing people out? Like Giggs, you threw Nav out because he said that was a shit call. Talk about that.
Might have been, it was a little sensitive, like I said. I just think eventually it gets to the point where it's the same person, and not a knock on Nav. And I can have this talk with anybody. Since I came back, Nav has never been a guy to yell at the refs really, and probably since the restart. And me and Nav had a little talk last night, so we don't have to get into it, but he kind of was bad, just going off on me, or every week. It just seemed, if it was Monday and Wednesday, or if it was every other Monday, it didn't matter. So I just was just like, what, I'm done. I'll just kick you out of the game. And I think it was 3 minutes into the game, and it just, again, I saw you texted the group of refs and asked if he was suspended, and Nick said no, and I was like, no, I didn't. I'm never going to suspend somebody unless they are just a complete,
I was upset about the suspension because I had 2 goals before you had kicked me out, and I didn't get to get the third, but that's all right.
Jump in here too. Stops. As much as I hate to say this, you get used to it, and I agree with Joe. It's the same. Excuse me, same characters that are ones that are normally chirping. It's just part of the job, right? So you're going to listen to them, and there's days where you're in a bad mood, or you're in a bad mood, and I'm not going to take some of these bullshit. Excuse my French, but for the most part, we're out there. It's hockey, and we'll deal with it, right? It's just, if you're that sensitive, you can't ref.
Correct.
And I agree with all that too. I mean, like you said, it's always the same guys, but I've gotten to the point where I forgot who I said it to last night, but it's guys are gonna complain if you miss a call, or they're gonna say something. I'll let them say their piece, but then if they keep repeating themselves, I said it last night to somebody. I'm like, one more word.
Yeah,
I'll give them that opportunity to I'll give them that opportunity to shut up, and if they don't shut up after that, then we'll handle it from there. But
yeah, you give them that warning.
Stevie, the general rule is, if you want to yell F you to me, or you want to try to embarrass me, then I'm going to launch you. But if we're just walking to the penalty box and you say it's a terrible call, I mean, listen, you got your opinion, I got my opinion, and my opinion is the only one that matters, right? Because I called the penalty.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just that's what it's all about, right? If somebody wants us to tell you, Sab, what was a terrible call, or I mean, people are going to tell you make good calls too. So you can't be that sensitive. If you're going to do this, you got to have some thick skin. You really do.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And like you said, bro, you know, say if you're gonna say your piece, say your piece. But once we finish that play, then there's no point to bring it back up. The call's not going to change.
Right. Sabatini, you're reffing with Stevie J.
Mhm.
Okay. He calls off a goal that you know in your heart of hearts was in. And he's adamant that it hit the post. But in your heart, you know that that was a goal.
Is he the low ref though?
Yeah. Am I the low ref or am I the high ref?
That's the
Well,
where's
you'd be
positioning, because
the low ref. You'd be the low ref.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I discuss it with him, and if he's that adamant, as long as he had the right angle on it, we go with the person that has the best position, make that call.
Nav, can I answer this? Because a longtime official told me this back in the early 90s, right? Because I would have made and it's not even a mistake, Mike. You're doing the right thing, wanting to go talk to him. If Stevie J doesn't want to talk to me and doesn't want my opinion, whether it's a goal or not, no matter what I think, I'm going to shut up, right? If he comes over,
I won't bring it up to him unless he asks my opinion.
Or comes over,
needs
touch me.
Yeah.
I would simply, in a low tone, first of all, we'd walk away from all the players, right? So nobody can hear what we're talking about. And I'd say, Stevie, that went in. I'm 100% sure. You know, if you want, I'll take the heat here and say I saw it. And, you know, so, I mean, there's just a lot of ways to do it. But, you know, I'm still going to wait for Stevie J to come over and talk to me.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you're right. That's the way to treat it is if he's got the angle, it's his call. And only if he asks for help or he wants to discuss it, then yeah.
We actually,
I think I had that situation. I forgot who I was referencing with. It happened before where there was a shot. I honestly thought it went in, but I was the high ref. My partner waved it off, thought it hit the post and came out. I go with his call because he's in the spot.
Right.
Sometimes, guys, it's easier to see the play up top because sometimes, depending on your angle and how that ball, or even I've done ice hockey, how that Joe knows this, how that puck goes in, you could be in the right spot and still not see it.
right, especially if it hits the inside post.
You're not going to see it.
Right. Stomps, take it away.
Oh, what was that, Nav?
Go for it. Go ahead, Stomps.
Well, no, I mean, and guess what? In this stuff that we ref, we don't have the benefit of going to the instant replay like the pros do either.
Yeah.
Well, we do have my camera that focuses on that one goal on that one side, but I mean, worst comes to worst, if they do want to review it, we can always review it. But the only other problem is there's no camera on the other goal, on the other side to review goals if need be.
Fair
We
enough.
can't start that dilemma though, Steve, because as soon as we do it, as soon as you review one goal, you're gonna have to review every goal.
I know.
We're doing the best we can based on how much little money or no money we make. We're doing the best we can. So we can't open that can of worms ever, right? You just can't, because then everybody will want to do it.
Yeah.
I was thinking what he's saying is he records it so afterwards we can go back and watch it and learn from it. Not review it, but like when he uploads it, because I do it all the time. When he uploads it, go back and watch and learn.
Jimmy, at that point, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know if I was right or wrong.
Well,
That's just me.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Thank you for that perspective, Stomps and Stevie J. I want to ask Brill a question. Brill, what inspired you to become a referee? What was the driving force behind this career decision?
I mean, honestly, I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to learn more about the sport and kind of improve my own game as a player. I wanted to see it from a different perspective and kind of understand the rules a little bit more and see the game from a different eye. And honestly, I think it's helped me kind of see the game differently when I'm playing. And it's also, as a referee, like, you get to have that opportunity to watch other players play and see you guys play and see what other referees do. And it's just helped me immensely understand the game and respect the game more and help me out as a player. So that was really the main reason. I just wanted to get another couple of tools in my box to put in there and help me out as a player.
So it wasn't all about the money. That's what you're saying.
No, if it definitely was not all about the money. I mean, I think I was the last guy that turned my paperwork into Salt Creek to get on the payroll because I kept forgetting to do it. And I was just more intent on becoming a better player and becoming a better referee. So that was what it was about for me.
That's pretty cool. Listen, you're tuned into season 2, episode 13 of the Neutral Zone. I'm going to pass it over to Stomps. You got a question for the group?
Let's see, who can we ask here? Sambo, what would you say is the biggest challenge out there reffing? What do you see as the number one challenge for you?
I mean, probably the biggest thing is making sure I'm in the right position to make the right calls. Always, adjusting my position, make sure I'm where I need to be to make what calls I need to make. So
That's cool.
How about you, Stevie? Same question.
For myself, I know, again, I'm not perfect. I know I missed, I've missed, I missed some calls, and and you guys can, I know some of you guys can back me up on that, but just for myself, I like to, for what Sabo said, be in the right place at the right time, looking at everything from a player point of view. If they're coming down the rink and some guy sticks a stick out, and he trips like over the blade instead of necessarily actually tripping over a slashing motion. So you kind of have to determine if it's a penalty, if it's actually the slip on the blade or just knock them down with their stick. So that's mostly like one of the hardest penalties to call, because is it deliberate or is it just kind of like by accident? And that's what I mean. In like a point, like half a second, you need to decide if it's a penalty or not.
Stevie, can I chime in? A trip's a
Yeah,
trip, whether it's accidental or on purpose. A trip's a trip. Make it real easy for yourself. A trip's a trip, right? So don't even think about that.
But what I'm saying though is I'm saying if they're tripped on the blade itself.
So did the player not have his blade there where it didn't belong there, and that's why the guy tripped? It's what I mean. Just a lot of roughing is just making it real easy for yourself, right? If you take out all the gray area, I mean, and just look at it, a slash is a slash, a trip is a trip, a hook is a hook, right? I mean, you just start looking at this stuff. I mean, I would say the most important thing for me, guys, and again, this is somebody passed this on to me when I was early on, you can't miss goals, right? I mean, we can miss penalties, we can miss offsides, we can miss icings. The one thing you can't miss is a goal, right? I mean, goals are so hard to come by. The one thing, you just want to get yourself in whatever position it is to make sure you don't miss a goal. That I think is the key. Nobody wants guys to get hurt. We want to call penalties on scoring chances, not the stuff in kind of at center ice or two guys bumping into each other, right?
Right.
But again, this comes from somebody that had reffed a long time. When I first started reffing, he said the one thing you can't do is miss goals. So take that away. I mean, listen, penalties, as Joey knows, are judgment. We're all going to have different judgments, but try not to miss goals. That's really the key.
Wow, great words of wisdom. Words of wisdom for sure. What's your we kind of covered some of this, but I did want to ask this. What's your favorite part of the job? In one thing you like about the job. Let's go round. Start with Stomps.
Wow. It's just learning more about the game. I just try to be a better ref every single game. Just learn a little something, better positioning, whatever it is. It could be anything. You take little things each game, and it does, like Jimmy said earlier, it helps you be a better player. I mean, the main reason I got into it is, I'm kind of, we got to be honest here. I mean, I'm on the downside of my playing days. So I'm kind of winding that down, even though it doesn't seem like it, because I'm still out there a lot. But it was a way to stay in the game, be around the guys. and I enjoy it. I mean, I always, when I was a kid, I mean, I'd be at the games at the Chicago Stadium. I'd be in the stands up there yelling offside. I mean, I was making the calls before the officials were calling them. So I always kind of had that in me a little bit, I guess.
Stomps, you think when you retire from playing, you'll still ref?
Why not?
That's pretty cool.
Why not?
Ronnie, what do you love about reffing?
It's hockey and you're around the guys. I mean, I'll hit it out of the park. It's hockey and you're around the guys. I mean, you guys have seen me. You guys, Stomps, you remember seeing me at Woodridge? I'm out there having fun, right? I mean, you can do the best job you can while you're out there, and maybe you'll miss stuff, maybe you won't, but it's hockey and you're around the guys. I don't know what else to say other than that.
That's very
Yeah.
nice. Brill, what about you?
I mean, Ron hit it on the head. I mean, that's what I was going to say. It's just another way to kind of be around the sport, be around the guys, having
the
fun.
gals.
And at the same time, it's kind of like you're not playing. So when you're watching it, you're neutral, right? So like you get to enjoy the game from a different perspective. You're not playing on one team. You're kind of, you know, the team that you're on is the reffing team. So it's you and your partner out there, and you're watching the game and enjoying it. You just get to be around hockey a little bit more.
Higgs?
I mean, it's a free gym membership that I get, you know, a little paid to go do. And again, exactly what Ron said, you know, I'm out there with the guys. I mean, I know Ron personally. I know Brill a little bit, but like everybody else there, I don't know, but I built a relationship with you guys over the last 15 years where it doesn't matter who you are or what you saw to me the game before, we're still going to talk, and I'm going to treat you guys as, you know, you guys are hockey players when it all comes down to it. Ball hockey players, but hockey players at that.
Cool.
Can I chime back in real quick here, Nav?
Sure.
And another thing, I mean, when we're doing ball hockey, we're playing and we're roughing. So, but I tell you what, Joe, you hit it out of the park there, and I forgot to say this. When I do my ice hockey, the guys I ref with, I would never see them if I wasn't reffing with them. So it's another reason to kind of stay in touch with people, right? Because I'm not playing ice hockey anymore. So the guys I ref ice hockey with, I don't see those guys unless I'm reffing with them. So a little different, little different animal at Salt Creek Hattrick. But yeah, go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm gonna ask you and Giggs, what do you prefer? What's easier, reffing ice hockey or deck?
Well, for Giggs, it's probably both are easy because he's on. Honestly, ice hockey's easier because, as Joe knows, you don't have to skate hard all the time. There's moments where you can kind of glide a little bit as long as you're, you know, in position close to the play. I mean, you still got to run a little bit when we're doing ball hockey. Joe, what do you think? I mean, I think ice hockey personally is easy for me because
Yeah, I mean,
I can glide.
I would say out of, you know, because I do all three, ice would probably, I mean, for me, roller would be the easiest, but I mean, ice is right there. I mean, it's all hand in hand. I'm on skates. It's with ball hockey for me, it's definitely, it's easier to get caught out of position where, you know, like I try to make sure I'm always like the last man back. But you guys now, like with all these younger kids coming in and being quick, you guys, they change on a dime and they stop on a dime and cut. And like, I find myself actually sweating. I mean, I was wearing short sleeves and short repping, and like I never would do that. And I sweat, and that's, you know, like I said, it's a free gym membership essentially, but I still don't really want to sweat. You know, it's uncomfortable when you're a bigger guy. So.
Tell me about it.
Stevie, what's your favorite part of the job?
I just say, I say, I mean, for overall relationships, I mean, friendships, as far as, you know, with our referee corps, and learning about the game, you know, that's the critical thing. And then being a better player for myself and assisting others as well as coaching them too. Like there's people out there that just got introduced to playing deck. So actually helping them with the rules is another good thing for them to learn. And then they can take that into consideration and pass that on to their other buddies and see how they like it.
Stevie, you're always giving back to the community. That's what I love about you.
I
Sabo,
have a question for Stevie, a quick question.
Yeah.
Stevie, I noticed when you drop the ball, you do this little maneuver. is that your dance routine that kind of leads into your refereeing?
Which one? The little like going like that? Like,
I don't know.
You have like a little 2-step backwards move that you do every time, and it's awesome.
It's like you dab and drop the ball.
I don't even know what that is. I gotta look at it now.
Sabo, what do you love about it?
Well, I hate to echo pretty much what everybody said, but it's being around the game, being around everybody, building the relationships and learning more about the game. So,
Well,
Yeah, I got a question for everybody. Besides reffing at Palatine, there's opportunities to work the timekeeper and do the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I think I got to return to college, go to graduate school to learn how to work that device.
Yeah, I thought we need to.
What is the deal with
figure
that?
that thing out.
it's not as hard as it seems, Stomps.
It's
I mean,
not.
if Luke can do
I
it.
just learned how to do it. What, Sabo, last week, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
or whatever. And like once you do it one game, it's easy.
Every scoreboard's easy. You just got to figure out how that one is easy, right? I mean, I've worked with some old ones that people look at them and they don't even know what to do. But I mean, every scoreboard, it's just like Jim and Sabo have said, you just gotta get used to it, and it's relatively easy.
Yeah.
And Stomps, I do want to say this: you're not on your downside with that dangle that you had a few weeks ago, because that says completely different.
right.
Yeah,
Sabo was working the scoreboard yesterday and reffing. I saw that.
Yeah, that was tremendous.
Do you get paid extra for that?
I don't know.
I think you get paid like $10 or something like that per game.
Hey, Mike, Sabo, did you hear my guys? They were saying you can't count past 5 because you only have 5 fingers. Did you hear that yesterday?
I got 10.
They were. I'm like, you guys shut up, please. Really? That's the best you guys got? You only got 5 fingers. You can't count past 5. Like, come on, guys. Really?
Hey, today was fantastic in the sense that the viewers out there got a chance to get to know you guys. We really appreciate it because there's a human side to everybody, even though sometimes you guys seem like robots out there, but there's a human side. We're all people. I wanted to play a little game with you guys here. I want to see how well you guys know each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe 1 or 2 people based on what I know about them. And I'm going to ask you guys to guess who I'm talking about. Okay. So clearly you were paying attention at the introductions. I'm going to start off with 2 referees. Either they're here now or they're not, but they're referees that you know. I want you to tell me who these 2 referees are that share a common interest for a New York sports professional team.
Do we have to buzz in?
Wait, we already know that one already.
Just put your hand up. Stevie.
New York Islanders, Lou Mangini.
Okay, and who's the other ref that likes a New York team?
He's right there in the middle.
He's got a hat on.
Square.
Sabo.
Oh, I'm a
All right.
Blackhawks fan.
There you go. Okay, that was a softball.
I'm a Blackhawks fan. I'm not an Islanders fan.
No,
I
but
know,
it's
but
New
I
York
said a New
team.
York
Yankees.
sports professional team.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how well do you know this guy? He's a professional in the logistics business outside of hockey.
Logistics.
What the hell is logistics?
Stevie J, number 2.
I'm gonna go with Ronnie Squatta Senior.
No, I don't know who it is. I mean, I work for AT&T, so I'm in the communications business, not logistics.
Gigs, any guesses there, Gigs, or any?
Is it Brill?
Yes, it is
Oh.
Brill.
Yes, boy.
All right, these 2 gentlemen, and in the question, there's a little hint. These 2 gentlemen share the exact same birthday.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh, shut up.
Don't know.
No idea.
You're supposed to be like,
wait a minute.
Sabo, you're supposed to be like Brill. Just keep quiet.
Am I one of them?
Yes. Yes, you
Sambo
are.
and me?
Yes. Sabo spoke, you spoke. You guys you're not supposed to say anything when you know the answer. That's how the game goes.
You still didn't know the answer, so.
Wait a minute, Stevie knew the answer to the other one. He raised his hand and you let him answer.
But it wasn't him.
Final question, and this is not a get to know each
I didn't know the
other.
rules.
This is of all the referees, both present and absent. So what's the total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Lou and Dante are missing, 7 and 8.
Okay.
Which ethnicity is the most common amongst referees?
Do we have to answer that?
I'm gonna have Brill answer that.
Nice.
I'm gonna say Caucasian.
Here's a hint, Sebastian Maniscalco.
It starts with and that's
Ethnicity, not race.
Gigs, are you Italian too, Gigs?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. 3, 4, 5.
Again, I was down there. I
Brill,
was
you're
down
the
in
only
Cancun.
one. Oh, wait, you and Stevie J are the only two. Stevie J, no Italian, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh. All of you are Italian except Brill. Brill, we're gonna have to do your 23andMe or your ancestry DNA.
Yeah, I'm probably like
Hey, Stumps.
0.02%.
Stomps, do you have any more questions for these fine lads?
I have a question for you. When are you going to be taking the class as our resident Canadian?
Yeah.
To not be an official it's pretty insulting to the rest of us. You should be out there. When's that happening?
Maybe sooner rather than
And-
later.
and
Gig saw how I was moving yesterday.
Who do we think will be the next ref?
Ganutek. The Gigs doesn't think so.
I mean, so the way I look at it is like, typically like the best assholes, sorry for swearing, are usually good refs. So Ganutek probably will be a good ref.
Oh,
Oh, it's
And I like Brian a lot. He's a lot of fun.
he's a great guy, and we wish him well. Sabatini, who's the worst guy you have to deal with on the court?
Come on now. Don't hold back.
It depends on the day. There's a couple people that might get argue calls, but like we said, it's hockey. It's gonna happen. So
Bruner chirps a lot, but he's the first guy to say thank you after the game. Thanks for reffing.
Thanks for putting up with my garbage, you.
Carlo's another one. Carlo is constantly in your face, like questioning everything. I mean, was that really a hand pass? But Carlo,
no,
he's just into it. So
now, me not being a ball hockey guy, just reffing it. Why? For me, the logic is, wouldn't you want a heavier ball for feel, like so you could feel the ball, and like I feel like the heavier ball stays down more than the lighter ball, doesn't bounce as much.
Right.
Like I've never seen somebody come up to me and just be like, that ball is too orange. We need to go to a lighter orange ball. And that's what Carlo told me last night. Sorry, Carlo, for throwing you under the bus if you listen. And I already had one complaint about the ball being too light. So I just put the ball in my pocket, pulled the same ball out, and used that ball.
Hey, you should have threw him out of the game.
He didn't swear though,
He's really
Nav.
polite about it. He's really polite about it. So then I switched to the lighter ball, and probably a minute and a half later, that ball got shot out of play, and I just hammered Carlo, letting him know I was using the dark orange ball.
Wow.
And like Ronnie will agree with me. No matter what, we are always, like, if we're in a good mood and we're going to chirp back, we are always going to get that last jab in, and it's going to be like, mother, goddamn Gigs got me again, like. Like Ron ref me, and it's not like I've ever actually yelled at Ron. It was just more like I like toe picked and fell, and Ron just hammered me, like going to the bench, like, "Oh, Giggs, what happened there? You're a little wet. You get a little water in your face." I'm like, "Oh, Ron."
I'm not. You're gonna yell at me. I'm just gonna have some fun with you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what everybody forgets, guys, is when you miss a pass or miss an easy goal, when people are yelling at the refs, you could yell at the players. Oh, dude, you suck. You should have scored that goal. You should have caught that pass. But we don't do that. So we can always, as a referee, you can always get back at people. You can always get the last kind of shot in and then run away from and kind of go away from the bench, because that's just part of what we do.
I've had a guy tell me I was a shitty referee, and I asked him what league he was playing, and he told me like that it was like the E League on a Sunday morning. And I said, and that's why I'm out here. It's because the level of play gets that level of ref. And he again sent Nick an email.
Awesome.
Wow. Hey guys, listen, first of all, I want to just acknowledge you for doing a thankless job. I know you get paid, but it's a tough job just listening to you tonight and hearing all the stuff you have to deal with. You guys certainly do it well. And not only are you great players at what you do, but you're also exceptional referees. And this is great for the ball hockey community, just giving back. Like Stevie was saying, I think it's a great thing. And I'm sure the viewers at home are really going to enjoy hearing your perspectives and getting to know you guys well. On behalf of Stomps and I thank you immensely for being part of this special official neutral zone this evening. So thank you very much for tuning into episode 13 of season 2. And thanks for doing all the hard work that you guys do. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate having us.
Yeah, appreciate having me here too.
All right, everybody, we're going to close. Thank you for watching.
We live in, back and forth through the kitchen. Remembering the nights we spent down, it seems so far away.